right, welcome back to the Messed Up to Setups podcast. I'm comedian Michael Halcomb. On the show today for part 2, we have Amanda Hacker. Check her out at amandahackercomedy.com and hang out here because in a minute she's going to share a joke with us and we're going to dissect it and hear more about it, so stay tuned.
It's all messed up, yeah, everything's messed up. We're going from this mess up to the next setup. Everything seems so messed up, but it's just our setup.
All right, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Michael Halcomb and I'm comedian. Do you go by comedian or comedian? Like the fancy I-E-N-N-E. How do you do that?
I've seen it both ways. I don't care either way. I'm just excited when I get on shows. It's such a boys' club, as you know, and so anytime I get booked on a show, it's usually I'm the token female. So they'll call me the comedian sometimes when that happens.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So it's good to have you and had a good chat in part 1 of the podcast, of the interview. So what I want to do here in part 2 is just hear a joke you've written and then kind of tell us the origin story behind it. We'll see if we can come up with anything else to punch it up. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, or tighten it, whatever. Just work on a joke.
Sure, absolutely. So I was kind of between several different things for this, but the one joke that I have that tends to either really, really land or I get crickets. It's one of those jokes, just depending on the venue and the audience. As we were talking about in part 1, there's so many different variables. So the joke is, I do a little bit of preamble where I say, I'm just not girly. I don't understand makeup. I don't understand, I go through a whole set of punchlines about not being girly. And I say, the joke that I'm talking about is, you would think, though, with all of the Barbies that I played with as a kid, that I would have learned, like, thing 1 about how to be a girl. But instead, all playing Barbies taught me is that I am now an adult who has had multiple Kens, multiple houses, multiple jobs, and you will find me naked at a thrift store.
Okay. All right. So you're not the like operating like premise behind this is that you're not girly enough.
Right.
But you should be based on all the Barbies you played with. And so you've had multiple Kens, what were the other ones?
Multiple jobs, multiple houses, and then you will find me naked at a thrift store.
Yeah, so I like that. So you said you work in churches. That doesn't seem like an edgy joke for me, but I could see like some staunch Southern Baptist, I don't know what denomination you are, but maybe feeling like just because you said the word naked, like it's over the line.
Yeah. I have edited it for church before. Gosh, I'm trying to remember what my alternate punchline was. I'll have to find it. We can probably brainstorm that too. But I remember what it was. And I've had more jobs than Ryan Seacrest. So multiple Kens, multiple houses, and I've had more jobs than Ryan Seacrest. So that was my like more tame version of it. But I have told that joke at a church comedy night before where they were doing like PG comedians. But you're right, depending on the church venue and denomination and just so many different things at play, saying naked might not land.
I'm wondering if a tag, one tag that comes to mind for me is like, you could maybe call out, I don't know if you need to call out the ladies, but you could be like, and ladies, I'm not made of plastic, something like that. And then like, this is all real, that might be an interesting tag.
Sure.
Or you could, I don't know if you need to, men, I'm not made of plastic. I wonder if you call it the ladies or the men in that situation. And almost like if you did it to the men, it's like you're trying to pick them up. Are you married? Are you single?
I'm married. Yep.
Maybe not calling out the men.
Yeah. Well, I joke about that a lot in my stand up too, because I've been married 3 times. So I'll refer to a situation that happened 2 husbands ago, and I call it my great grand husband.
Okay, all right, your great grand husband. So the premise of playing with Barbies, and there's something there we talked about in your last in the part one of the episode. You do a number of jokes about diet culture
Mm-hmm.
and weight, and so I'm wondering if there could be some loop back in or callback or relation to that. Yeah, like because the Barbie doll like is the well, I guess it isn't the opposite. Like, is it a catalyst for diet culture? Like what? How do you feel about Barbies in general? Like, I'm just curious. Like,
Well, so I love them. I grew up playing with them, obviously, but the Barbie movie that just came out like in the last couple of years really changed my viewpoint on, not to be like dorky, but like everybody is Barbie. You know what I mean? Barbie is
hmm.
everyone. Barbie's every job, every person, every. They just released a Barbie this week that has type 1 diabetes, which makes
Are
me
you
laugh because I'm
serious?
like, that posits the fact that there are actual Barbies whose pancreases do regulate insulin. Like, I'm confused.
Is that for real?
That's for real.
Dude, that's a great punchline in and of itself. They just released a Barbie with type 1 diabetes. Like, and so I'm curious, like, what's next?
Right.
How far are they going to take this? That's funny. Like I think you could play on that. I would maybe tag that. And ladies, this is not plastic. Do the whole, but then they released the Barbie with type 1 diabetes. The Barbie comes with an insulin pump.
Mm-hmm. She does actually. You haven't seen
Does
this
she
doll, but
really?
she does.
Gosh, she comes with an insulin pump and only has one foot.
No, I love it. The whole Barbie can be any job makes sense to me like that. That's funny to me that Barbie can be a teacher, an astronaut, whatever. But
Yeah.
then it's hilarious when they start giving Barbie like they had a Barbie that had cochlear implants like that she couldn't hear. And it's like, so you're telling me that the other Barbies can hear? Like that makes me nervous.
This is great. Like, I think you have a whole bit here about Barbies. There's a lot here. Like, I think it'd be funny too to have a Ken with diabetes because he had a drinking problem. He's got gout. Ken's got gout. That's funny. So, like, what is the packaging? Like, so you said she comes with an insulin pump,
She
but it's like
does.
instead of a lifetime guarantee, like the packaging says a lifetime of judgment.
Or a life expectancy for this Barbie.
Oh, gosh, kidneys will stop working in
Mm-hmm.
X number of days. That's funny, dude. I think that this would be a great bit. Like all these Barbies with problems, right? And starting with the type 1 diabetes Barbie. And her like, dude, this is funny to me. Like her dream home is a dialysis center. Dude, that's great. Yes. And then I don't know. So I'm just like thinking of all these like connections. What about the wheelchair?
Oh, yep, that exists. Barbie with a wheelchair for sure.
That's funny, dude. Type 2 diabetes. I don't know how many types of diabetes there are, but
I don't
yes,
know. I
dude.
feel like I have triabetes. I've got 3 levels going on over here. I don't know.
That's funny. Diabetes. That's great. Yes. Could you say so? Would it be offensive to say something like, they just released Barbie with type 1 diabetes because evidently now Ken's into thick chicks?
Well, so yeah, and that is hilarious. I was also thinking about the fact that like even growing up, I had 2 Kens to like 50 Barbies. And so what kind of polygamy stuff was happening with my dolls that Ken had
That,
20 wives?
dude, like, so Mormon Barbie, that's the next.
Yes.
The Mormon Barbie. That's funny. Dude, I think you have a great like thing here with this like Barbie, these Barbie jokes. Yes, the two Kens to 50 Barbies. That's like every guy's like fantasy or hell.
Right. Well, if all the Barbies are going to have medical ailments now, it might be.
Yes. So he's gonna have to like take care of, all 50 women. That's hilarious too. Like, yeah, so forget how can we work the convertible in that?
Oh my goodness.
Like,
With
so
the
he's got these
handicap
like,
placard?
yes, exactly. So the convertible has changed from like, so you say convertible, or thinking like, the sort of topless Corvette looking car or whatever. But when you say convertible, it's actually, he's put like the wheelchair lift on it. That's how he's converted it. He's got a convertible van now
Yes.
that's got a
Yes.
wheelchair lift. Dude, this is funny. That's hilarious. So, like, is that a true premise? Like, you were thinking this one, like, what's the origin story of the joke?
Yeah, so I was thinking about, well, like I said, I've been married 3 times. I really have changed my job a million times. I kept changing what I wanted to be when I grew up. So I had made that joke to myself growing up, like, man, I've had more jobs than Barbie. Like, I've got to land somewhere and just stay there. And then like I said, the other thing of getting married multiple times. So I've had multiple Kens. So those are 2 areas where I really kind of make fun of myself anyway, just in life. And then the naked at a thrift store was just a hook I put on there, or a punchline I put on there, because I was thinking about every time I've gone to Goodwill or the thrift store, all of the Barbies are naked in a pile. Like, nobody donates them with clothes, apparently. They're all naked with natty
That's
hair.
funny. Like, that, I mean, you could make a creepy joke out of that too. Like, because when I think of that, like, the bunch of naked Barbies in a pile like that, that's creepy. Like, it's a little creepy
It is.
but like, somebody like Jeffrey Dahmer wouldn't think that's creepy, right? Like, for a serial killer, like, that wouldn't be creepy. So why do we allow that to stand?
Right.
What, like, that would be funny, like, maybe as a backstory for, like, this is how we create serial killers, y'all. This is how we
Mm-hmm.
create serial killers. Like, we
Right.
leave naked dolls laying in piles,
Yes.
in our thrift stores. That's, some little boy was walking past there someday, and that's where he got the idea, right? So, wow. Dude, there's so much here. So interesting. I don't know if any of those ideas are good for you or not, but
It works.
um,
I love that. I love hanging out in that Barbie premise more. I think that's awesome.
yes, there's a lot there. Like, the convertible, the like converting into a van, and then the dialysis center, like as a dream home. A lot there. What's next? That's funny. I think you should plummet those depths a little bit more. That's good
Absolutely.
stuff there. And then, like, yeah, what are the, like, do you have kids?
I do. I just had a baby 6 weeks ago, so I have my
Oh,
first
that's
kid.
right. Yes, you mentioned that to me in email. How's that? How's mothering going?
It is good. I've always been like a natural caregiver type person. I will say there are times when he's screaming at me because he's a newborn, and all I can think to myself is, man, when is this kid's mom gonna show up and pick him up? Like, I kind of forget I'm the mom for a minute.
That's good stuff. When's his mom coming? That's funny. That's hilarious. Yeah, so wondering, like, could you tie that into the Barbie thing too? Like, boys typically don't grow up playing with Barbies, but, maybe the Ken doll. Are you gonna, like, keep your kid away from, the Barbies, like the movie and the toys? Like, what would be the ramifications for that? So that could be funny. Yeah, so you got a 6 week old, you said? 6 week
Yeah,
old?
6 week old. Yep.
Amazing. And I'm assuming you haven't done comedy for a little bit now.
Right. Yep. I went on hiatus. Well, I called it my comedy maternity leave that I started middle of April, was kind of, or April 26th, I think, was my last gig. And then I've got one coming up on July 26th. So a good 3 months there
Wow.
of no comedy, but life is funny, as you know. So that's kept me pretty busy too.
Yeah. Well, I think you're going to get like just a ton of jokes out of, mothering and raising a child and, having a baby around. The joke you just said was funny. When's this kid's mom coming?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's taking a break from comedy for maternity leave. All right.
Yep, yep, just for a little bit, and then now I'm back to performing and producing shows. So
Nice. Can I ask you before we jump into like doing some jokes on the spots? Um, do you prefer performing over producing?
that is a good question because I love them both. I will say what I love more than both of those things is writing. If I could just write
Yeah.
humor all the time and then occasionally perform it, like that would be the dream. I would love to write even for other people. I love to just sit and write humor.
Right. Yes. I'm probably similar in that regard. I've not produced a show yet. I'm performing, but I find writing to be super enjoyable and invigorating. Um,
Yes. Well, and producing is fun. The party planner kind of part of me loves the producing side. I love throwing an event. And I also love being able to give a spot in the sandbox to comedians that don't necessarily have a bunch of credits behind their name that would like a spot in the sandbox. So when
that's
I've
great.
produced shows, I've been able to book people who didn't have a ton of opportunity.
That's awesome. I love that. And my sort of ethos as a comedian is, a rising tide lifts all ships, right? And uh,
Absolutely.
there's so much competitiveness in the comedy scene. It's very cutthroat. So, like, I'm kind of a sucker for that. When I find people who are willing to use their platform to lift other comedians up, like, super appealing to me. That's the kind of people I want to be around and be associated with.
For
The
sure.
whole sort of, yeah, the whole sort of like, I got to get out ahead of you, or I'm jealous of you, or you're doing better than me, so I need to knock you down some notches. Like, I'm not about that. Like,
No, me neither. Especially as we were talking about, like as a female, it's already hard to get some spots sometimes because it is a boys' club. So often the girls will be catty with each other because they're saying, like, hey, there's only one token spot on this show. I want it to always be me. Like, I want to always be the token female that they call to be on a billing. And it's like, I just don't operate that way and I don't play into that.
awesome. Wow, well, good for you. I'm glad to hear that. Well, let's try to work on some jokes here.
Sure.
See what we can do real time. For those of you watching, you'll be able to see this. For those of you listening, obviously, you won't be able to see it. But if you go to my website, michaelhalcom.live, and when the website pops up, by the way, I've launched another podcast with my buddy Brandon, for those of you watching or listening. It's called the Pro Laugh Podcast, obviously a play on pro life. Our sort of mentality here is that everything is fair game to be laughed at. And so we're kind of starting this pro laugh movement, as we call it. Yeah, so
That's
it's my buddy
awesome.
Brandon. And we just launched that, so go check it out on YouTube. But if you go to michaelhawking.live and scroll down to the sides, you can see there are 3 links that say the Joke Writers Lab. One is for my online course that you can find on Udemy. The second is for my private Facebook group. By the way, if you're watching or listening, go join that. Click this link, join the private Facebook group. Amanda, you should join us on there. We
Sure.
share premises and jokes and help each other punch things up. It's a cool little private community. And then we have the Joke Writers Lab website. And if you click that link, then a new page will pop up. And I created this website just to have, I haven't updated in a little bit, but I need to, exercises for joke writing to get sort of, the juices flowing, in other words. And
Sure.
so you can click these buttons here. There are almost 16, there are 15 exercises right now. And you can use these to generate sort of writing prompts. So, for example, we can try this one, jokes from headlines. And these are timed, by the way. So we're comedians, we're on stage, we work on a clock. And so we're timed, and it's good to time yourself with joke writing too. So if you click this one, friend, this is the dynamic news prompt generator. And when I click the generate prompt button, it's going to go out and find real news headlines from today. And we can try to write jokes based on these.
Okay.
Like, here's one: how Netanyahu prolonged the war in Gaza to stay in power. Some of these are very wordy, but yeah. So Trump's African summit was a masterclass in modern colonial theater. Like, these are real, actual headlines. From newspaper articles within like the last 24 hours.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, so we can. I'll click one of these and we'll start the clock, and we'll have a minute. We'll take turns seeing if we can come up with punchlines just based on the headline here.
This is hard. I'm nervous for this game.
It is challenging, and some of these are like, it's too soon maybe for me, so I'll skip past those. But yeah, so here's one. I'll start the clock on this. It says Lithuania to save Baltic seals as ice sheets recede due to climate change. This is, you got a alarm going off back there.
No,
Is that a tornado alarm?
It's they test it every single day at 11:59 a.m.
Every day?
Every single day. This town is 1,700 people, but we've got to test the tornado alarm every single day.
I guess you probably get used to it at some level. I mean, your sleeping baby doesn't probably, but
He sleeps through everything. I was scream singing Queen songs to him earlier, and he was sleeping through it.
that's funny. There's another joke right there. I was like screaming Queen and putting my baby to sleep. That's what my dad used to do in the funeral home as well, to put people to sleep. Screaming Queen songs. All right, so here's a headline. I'm going to hit. Let's just see what we can come up with. This is so random, right? Lithuania to save Baltic seals as ice sheets recede due to climate change. I have no idea what we're going to get out of this, but
No.
timer's on. So Lithuania to save Baltic seals as ice sheets recede due to climate change. I don't know. Do they have ice blankets in Lithuania as well? Maybe the seals want to leave because they're being covered with ice sheets. I don't know. There's one, a couple. Anything come to mind here?
My first thought when I'm reading this is, first of all, I don't even think I could tell you where Lithuania is on a map. Secondly, I think it's one of those countries that I assume is made up until I watch Jeopardy, and then I'm like, that's a place? Okay.
I must be dumber than seals because I've never heard of Lithuania.
Right, exactly.
All right, let's go. So that's pretty good. So, Ukraine to receive U.S. air defense systems, says Trump. Also, says Trump. So that's why I want to make Trump say something else. What else? Ukraine to receive U.S. air defense systems, says Trump. Unlike Detroit, which will receive nothing to help the air.
Right. Well, and I love that defense has a typo in it, which just perfectly goes with Trump. Like, those two things go hand in hand. He would talk in typos, is what I'm getting at.
Oh, that's funny. That's good. So the defense, if you're watching, is spelled with a C here instead of S. Yes, Ukraine to receive U.S. air defense system, says Trump. After, probably the person giving away defense systems should have to, a requirement should be that they know how to spell defense first.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so this is one. It's kind of fun, right? It's challenging. So you can do the jokes from headlines for 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15. We have jokes from cliches, so we'll try this one.
Okay.
This is just a random cliche generator that I created. So, boom, you hit the button, and this says left at the altar. So we'll hit start writing challenge, and we got a minute on the clock. Left at the altar. And of course, so left at the altar, for those on the left, that must mean two men.
I was thinking, left at the altar, right towards the bar.
Left at the altar, right toward the exit.
Yes, exactly.
Let's see. Anything else for left at the altar? All my hopes and dreams.
My dignity, left at the altar.
Altar.
Half my money, left at the altar.
Half my money. That's good stuff. All right. Time's up. Let's go on to the next one. She wouldn't know me from Adam. Oh my goodness. She wouldn't know me from Adam. My Bible mind wants to go immediately to Eve.
Right.
She wouldn't know me from Adam.
This one's hard.
Especially unless her name's Eve. I don't know. Like, yeah, this one's tough. She wouldn't know me from Adam. Who's a famous Adam?
Sandler,
Adam
maybe?
Sandler. Yeah, she wouldn't know me from Adam. Sandler. He's one of my comedic heroes, by the way. I'm going on a tangent here, but I think he would be up there right around my Rushmore of comedians.
Yes. He's excellent.
I don't like this one. I'm going to go to the next one. I usually force myself to stay in right, but she wouldn't know me from Adam. Then again, she doesn't know much, whoever she is. I don't know. She wouldn't know me from Adam. I could go. There was that one news headline recently about some lady who was going to be with like 1,000 men in 24 hours or something. Whatever her name is.
Yes.
She wouldn't know me from Adam. I'm speaking of whatever her name was. But
yeah.
All right, like a fifth wheel. Here we go. Right, feel like a fifth wheel.
This is a total side tangent on fifth wheels, but I used to sell auto insurance, and my dumb self was 6 months into the job before somebody explained to me what a fifth wheel was, because I thought it was legitimately an RV with 5 wheels, and I didn't understand how that operated.
So I felt like a fifth wheel, unused.
Yeah.
That's funny. Feel like
Carrying
a fifth
the load.
wheel. There you go. Carry the load.
Yeah.
Feel like a fifth wheel. Overlooked and overworked. I don't know.
On a Tefka? Are we going into Fiddler on the Roof?
Let's do another one. So we have roasting. If you don't want to do this, just tell me. This one makes people kind of uncomfortable. But the way this works is you generate a random image, and these are just totally random. And it pulls up a picture, and you try to roast the person in the picture.
Sure.
A lot of people I've had on here are uncomfortable with this. So if you're uncomfortable...
These are random strangers, so this doesn't bother me. But, like, I would never do a roast battle. I know that that's, like, a stand-up thing that people do. I won't be doing a roast battle.
Why?
I don't know. Something about, like, it's a real human in front of me making fun of it. Like, this exercise is fun. And I will do this, like, just random strangers on the internet, like random headlines and stuff that'll come up, and I'll think to myself, like, hey, this person looks like if a pack of cigarettes decided to make a wish and become a human man. Those kind of jokes. But
nice. Well, interesting. So you don't mind doing it, like, not in person, but in person, You're not interested. All right.
Right. Well,
Interesting.
and it depends on if I know them or not too. That would make a difference. But
Right. Right. Like, would be fun to uh, be on like a dais of a roast of somebody you knew, right?
mm-hmm.
Like, I think that would be fun. It usually isn't as like hateful seeming, right? As like when you're just roasting random people, like a roast battle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so well, let's try this one. You're up for it. You're down for it. So I'm gonna hit the clock here, and we'll get going. This guy looks like he makes his kids clean their plate at dinner. I don't
Yes.
know.
This guy looks like he's concealing a fart right now.
Nice. um, this guy looks like this guy looks like the guy that Daryl Isaacs wants to end.
Yeah. This guy has never read a single one of those books on his shelf.
This guy looks like I want to Epstein list much.
Yeah.
We'll do one more. So that's a fun one, I think. We have jokes from lists, from fallacies, from rhetoric, from structures, acronyms, finish the triple, finish the create setups from punches, finish the setup, new rule. Any of these sound interesting to you? You want to pick one?
I like the idea of creating a setup from a punchline.
Okay. That's challenging. I think you picked the hardest one.
Oh,
So
sorry.
no, so we'll see what we can do. So this one is the random punchline generator with time writing. So what I did here is I took like thousands of jokes that other comedians have actually told, and I removed the setup. Left in the punchline, removed the setup. And so now the challenge here is to try to come up with what your setup would be for this punchline.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yes, this is a really challenging. So the punchline here is there are no excuses, and I take full responsibility for the hurt I've caused. So our job here is to try to come up with a setup that would work to complete this punchline. There are no excuses, and I take full responsibility for the setup for the hurt I've caused. What might be a setup for that?
So I'm thinking just demolishing a buffet
That's good.
and the buffet
So
manager wanting to speak to you afterward.
that's great. So what is a place that's like a buffet, like Shoney's? What's Ponderosa?
Golden Corral, maybe?
Golden Corral. That's it. Yeah, the Golden Corral manager confronted me yesterday, and I had to admit, there are no excuses that take full. So how would we structure this setup?
Oh, that's a good question. Oh gosh, our time is
Golden,
up even. That's quick. It only gives you a minute for this one.
yeah, the Golden Corral manager, a Golden Corral manager confronted me yesterday after too many trips to the buffet. And as I often did in my first marriage, I had to say there are no excuses and I take full responsibility for the hurt I've caused. So good stuff here. These are fun. And it is a little nerve wracking. I mean, plus you're being recorded, so that adds like another element to it. But yeah, thanks for playing along with that.
Sure, of course. That was fun.
For those of you watching or listening, once the episode's over, head over to amandahackercomedy.com and you can follow Amanda there on her socials, Facebook, YouTube, Insta. She's got shows, videos, gallery. You can get in touch with her. She does weddings and has library shows and all sorts of fun stuff. So follow her and check out the website. Once you've done that, head over to michaelhalcom.live, and there you can subscribe to my website as well. I try to blog daily, so if you want daily comedy tips or funny stories or podcasts, you want comedy, in other words, flowing to your inbox on a regular basis, you can subscribe to my website over at michaelhalcom.live, and lots of fun stuff there. We have the Pro Laugh podcast, which I mentioned earlier in the show. You can subscribe to that on YouTube or Spotify or iTunes. Same with this podcast, Messed Up to Setups. Pick one of those, your favorite, YouTube, iTunes, or Spotify, and follow and subscribe on there. We are going to wrap it up here. Amanda, thanks so much for coming on. And I'm seriously impressed that you've got a 6-week-old and yet you're coming on a podcast to jokes. That's awesome. And you've got a show coming up.
Vacation.
Tell us one more time where your upcoming show is and when.
It's at the Plymouth Library in Plymouth, Indiana, August 21st. Doors at 7, show is at 8, and it's to benefit the Marshall County Community Foundation. And I chose that organization because they do a ton. They do a lot of scholarships and grants and things like that. But specifically what made me choose them was in our state of Indiana, the state decided to not fund the Dolly Parton Imagination Library anymore, and so it's up to like individual communities to keep that program going. And so in Marshall County, it's the Community Foundation that's keeping that going. And I love the idea of free books for kids. I mean, my baby is 6 weeks old, and he has more books than any other kid probably, because I'm obsessed with making sure that he has all of that. So
that's awesome. Well, kudos to you for doing that. And if you are in the northern Indiana, southern Michigan area, go check that out. Even if you're not, but you can get there, go check it out. And thanks everybody for watching or listening. Messed Up to Setups with me. I'm comedian Michael Halcom and comedian Amanda Hacker. We're going to stop there and say we hope that helps.
It's all messed up, yeah. Everything's messed up. We're going from this mess up to the next setup. Everything seems so messed up, but it's just our setup.